Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources.
It's a tough economy, and the holiday brings so many added expenses. If you're giving a holiday party, ask your friends and family to share a great recipe by bringing their favorite dish. Here was some great menu and inexpensive party planning strategies to bring everyone together for the new year is national lifestyle and entertaining expert Lisa McKelroy. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Rose. Happy holidays.
So how do we begin planning a holiday party? Does the menu and decor have to follow a party theme?
Absolutely, but you don't have to make it hard, you don't have to make it complicated, and you definitely don't have to make it expensive. So if you look at how I am up here, I've got a lot of pretty red and gold type elements, but nothing's too fancy. I brought in my holiday cards, I brought in a couple of little candles, but if you look at it, the food and of course your company are what are gonna make your party really fun. And so don't go overboard and don't feel like you have to, spend weeks doing this.
How about serving food that's affordable and making sure your guests have no food phobias or allergies?
You want to make sure you have an assortment, and I'm thinking about everything from my food to my beverages that I serve. And again, you can do things that are simple and ordinary, but make them special by just adding a couple of elements. So for example, for a holiday party, instead of just serving regular coffee, I'm going to make a really beautiful latte. And this, if you look here, is a cinnamon latte. This is so much easier than it looks, but it looks kind of impressive. All you need is a little bit of milk, and you need some cinnamon syrup, and then you want to have some really good coffee. A brand that I really like is Millstone Coffee. They have really terrific beans, and it's an exceptional coffee. Put this together, you put a little bit of caramel syrup on top, and suddenly you've got a really festive beverage, something that makes your party seem like everybody's getting into the holiday spirit. You didn't spend a lot of money, and it's as easy as anything.
Should we serve appetizers first and then wait for the main course?
But you're going to get a sense from the room. So you're going to ask the people who are helping you serve to be a little bit flexible, be ready to go with the next course when you get a sense that maybe people are getting a little hungry, maybe they're ready for the next thing, and then you can start doing things like setting up your mashed potato stations. But Bob Evans has this new way of serving mashed potatoes that I absolutely love. It's called mashed-teenies. So you put out a station, you've got our martini glasses, here I've got some sweet potatoes, here I've got some regular potatoes, and then I've got things like candied pecans and mini marshmallows and some roast beef. So you throw a few of those ingredients together and you've got a sweet tater twist. Again, so easy, you don't have to do a thing, you don't have to time it perfectly, but we've got this beautiful dish. People are going to be really impressed and it tastes amazing.
I feel uncomfortable asking guests to bring a dish.
Well, I think that it's an enormous compliment to ask somebody to bring a dish. So one thing that you can do is perhaps remember something that person has made in the past. Or if you don't know exactly what they've made in the past, ask them, what's your signature dish? Or how does your family like to celebrate? And then say, I would love to include your family tradition in my party. Would you bring that along so that everybody can taste it? And it's not a lot of work for anybody to do one small dish. And people really feel flattered to be included, that you're interested in including what they like. The other nice upside to that is you have something that person will enjoy eating.
Thanks, Lisa, for bringing all your great party planning ideas. Happy holidays from the Rosalie Archer Show and Archer Disability Foundation. It's that time of year when extra calories lurk around every corner. Cookies at the office, eggnog at your neighbor's, or chocolate in your stocking all ends up as extra weight carried into the new year. According to researchers at the National Institute of Health, most Americans never lose the weight they gain during the holidays, and the pounds add up year after year, making their holiday weight gain an important factor in adult obesity and diabetes. Actress and TV host Samantha Harris joins us to offer tips for surviving the season and fighting holiday fat. How do we avoid gaining those extra pounds and control our appetite at parties during the holidays and still feel like we didn't miss any of the great treats?
I think the biggest thing is to plan ahead. Have a snack before you leave for the party, something healthy like an apple with a little peanut butter, something that's going to give you a little protein but also carry you through so you don't indulge at the very first thing that you see at that party.
What are some holiday recipes that are healthier options?
Well, I think my biggest thing, especially, I love to bake, and I love indulgences. I have a sweet tooth, but I like to try to do it with a healthy twist. So when you're looking at the high-fat ingredients, find alternatives that are healthier. For instance, substitute applesauce, non-fat Greek yogurt, and a combination for oil. If it calls for full eggs, use all egg whites or at least partially egg whites with maybe one that has a yolk in it. So those are my main go-tos, and no frying.
There is so much to do, and keeping the stress level down and eating healthy can become impossible. And then we end up gaining weight.
Well, I think it's okay to taste something. There's a difference between tasting it and eating the entire table worth. But one thing that can really help is I'm really excited to help launch something that's very symbiotic with how I live my healthy lifestyle. It's called letsfightholidayfat.com, and it's a new website that's created by Ally, a free guide that will help you to be healthy, exercise, and have a support system through what can be very tempting holidays.
Where can we find more information?
letsfightholidayfat.com. Thank you, Rosalie.
Thank you.
Happy holidays from the Rosalie Archer Show and Archer Disability Foundation. Nutrition and exercise is imperative to run our bodies to the optimum, even during the overindulgent holidays. But when you're a diabetic, there is a myriad of health complications like heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, and amputation. My father was a diabetic amputee, and he loved Christmas, and he loved sampling all the holiday goodies. But diabetic management is every day, says Dr. Nicholas Morrissey, renowned vascular surgeon at New York Presbyterian Medical Center, who joins us with resources to improve diabetic wound care. Good morning, Dr. Morrissey.
Good morning.
Dr. Morrissey, most patients and caregivers don't realize the impact on your immune system from heart disease to kidney failure to amputation and other concerns.
It is the most important concern because the complications, as you mentioned, can lead to major devastating situations such as major amputations of extremities, cardiac disease, and death. Amputations are very common in diabetic patients, unfortunately.
Diabetic concerns include just bumping your foot against a commode that can cause a diabetic ulcer and won't heal correctly, right?
Yeah, it's very easy to develop wounds if you're a patient with diabetes, and it's also easy to not realize that you have them because of loss of sensation. And your immune system is not as effective at healing those wounds, and so oftentimes you need a little bit of help from other sources to actually get those wounds to heal in order to prevent amputation.
And wound care is a part of this project.
Maintaining proper fitting shoes and paying attention once you do develop a wound and availing yourself of options through your caregiver for getting those wounds to heal faster are very important in terms of preventing amputation.
These complications occur in patients with type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
The end result of the diabetes, when it comes to the target organs, if you will, is the same. And so ulcers are common in both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, as are amputations.
Doctor, what new regenerative treatment approaches are out there that you can offer those managing diabetes?
Yeah, well, one of the most well-studied in terms of regenerative medicine is a product called Apligraf, which is actually made up of human skin cells, and it comes in a sheet type of a device which can be placed on the wound in several applications. And it actually speeds up the healing of the wound, and it's a natural product, and so it's very safe, and it's effective in getting these wounds to close faster, which leads to better patient comfort and less amputation rate overall.
Where can we find more information?
Apligraph, apligraf.com, where there's a lot of information available, including studies, resources for patients, caregivers, and healthcare providers in terms of the entire spectrum of diabetic ulcers, their prevention, and their treatment.
Happy holidays from the Rosalie Archer Show and Archer Disability Foundation. Just like managing our diet to stay healthy, we must manage our budget because we have to pay now or pay later. National Consumer Lifestyle and Trends expert Bob Guiney is here to offer survival tips for a holiday buying bonanza into the new year. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Rosalie. Thank you for having me.
I feel guilty when I receive a gift that I don't want or need. And even if I want to return it, I probably don't.
Yes, and that is the truth. I mean, and ultimately for everyone out there, you know, I think the biggest thing is you want to, like you said, you know, you don't want to even take things back because you feel bad about it. The one gift you're never going to return is the gift of money. Giving people something that they can use, whether it be today on something they want to buy for themselves or down the road.
What can we give that is free to our family and friends?
When you think about budget, there's nothing better than free. And right now, there is a free app that's available. It's available starting today with the different holiday themes and such. It's called Magisto. So if you have a smartphone, if you have an iPhone, or if you have you know, an Android, you can actually go on the Apple Store, you can go on the Google Play Store, and you can download the Magisto app. Again, it is free. It's live today with all the holiday themes, holiday music. And the beauty of this app is you can take videos of your family, of the kids growing up, of the dogs playing, or a family reunion, and it actually has an editing feature in there where it'll actually put together the best of, so it makes a mini movie for you. And then instead of you just narrating it, you know, and saying, well, here's little Billy doing this thing, it actually, you know, you put the holiday themes with it, and you can put real music to it, like Jingle Bell Rock, the Hanukkah song, and you have a beautiful gift that you can then send out to everyone with a click of a button. You can put it on your Facebook, you can put it on your Twitter, you can put it on your email, and it's a way to let people know you're thinking of them, you want to share a little bit of something that's special in your life with your family, and it's in a beautiful video, little mini movie format that you can send out to everybody that you love.
That's a great way to share the holiday with friends and relatives all over the country.
I mean, we're a global community, you know, people live all over the place. You know, like you said, you're originally from Detroit, you're living in Miami. I'm sure you still have family and friends, you want them to see what's going on in your life, and it's a great way to share those times with people and let them know that they matter to you.
Thanks, Bob, for bringing all your tips to become a savvy consumer so we don't end up being in debt the first of the new year.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. It's also 100% preventable. If your home was built before 1978, visit leadfreekids.org to learn more.
Happy holidays from the Rosalie Archer Show and Archer Disability Foundation. Christmas Day is over, but for so many of us, post-holiday deals are sometimes the best to take advantage of. And if you can save more money along the way, even better. We have practical ways to help you save money and even put more money back into your wallet when shopping. Joining us with some great ideas is financial journalist Farrah Gibbons. Good morning, Vera.
Good morning. Yes, we're all looking for ways to put money back in our pocket, right?
Retailers want to sell their merchandise before inventory hits the new year. So share the best post-holiday deals that we should take advantage of.
Well, we saw a lot of people take advantage of the good deals before the holidays, and there's some good deals after the holidays as well. So before you head out, you of course need to always do your comparison shopping, look for coupon codes, look for promotions, all of that type of thing. There's, you know, go to Retail Me Not, Google Shopper, Fat Wallet. There are sites and apps out there that make the process easy and help you save along the way. And I would also say, if you did rack up the holiday debt, and probably a lot of us will this holiday season because there's a lot of impulse buying going on. 20% of us are buying things for ourselves. Just make up a plan to pay off that holiday debt within a reasonable time frame. If you can't pay it all off in January, for example, promise yourself that you will pay it off come Easter.
Nothing is more frustrating than buying an item and then a couple of days later, it's half price. Can we be reimbursed for the difference? And what happens if we don't have a receipt?
Always good to have your receipts. You should always keep your receipts no matter what, first and foremost. But some of these companies, some of these retailers do have price match guarantees, so that's something to look into as well. And then Citi has a program that takes it sort of one step further, the Citi Price Rewind program, which is a benefit for all of Citi's consumer credit cards, and it works very easily. You make a purchase, whether electronics, whether appliances, apparel, any other eligible purchase, you register that purchase. Citi then looks for a lower price for 30 days, so it does all of the legwork for you. This is how it differentiates itself from the other programs, and if it finds a lower price, $25 or more in terms of lower, it is going to issue a refund to you. And the average refund is coming in at about $80, which is no small chunk of change. A lot of us don't realize these programs exist, and we don't realize the price match guarantees are out there. But by foregoing these types of programs, we're forfeiting a couple $100 a year on average per household.
The economy is still recovering, and consumers need to stretch their budget. Any other tips?
Yes, one thing that people forget about is the perks and the benefits that credit cards offer. There was one study showing, in fact, that 55% of consumers aren't aware of the benefits and the perks that credit cards do offer. They just think that, they're just for charging. That's not the case. They offer all sorts of travel benefits and perks. They offer extended warranty coverage. And if you take advantage of these perks, these benefits, you can easily save a couple $100 a year, according to the estimates that are out there, if not more than that. So that's something to think about. I would also suggest you redeem your points, your miles. We spend a lot of time and money racking up these points and miles. We earn $48 billion a year, yet 1/3 of that, $16 billion, goes unredeemed every year. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal statistic.
How about regifting?
Regifting is big this holiday season. It continues to grow in popularity. It used to be, never do that kind of thing. But if it's done the right way, that can be perfectly fine. If you have something from your sister that is not the right size, not the right color, regift.
Can you share those websites you referred to earlier?
One site you can go to is citi.com/price rewind, or of course you can go to my website, which is veragibbons.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Vera Gibbons.
Thanks, Vera, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
According to the American Bankers Association, the percentage of consumers with payments overdue on credit cards, auto loans, and other debt dropped to the lowest level since 2007. But Americans are spending more in travel. The United States Travel Association projects travel expenditures in the U.S. to exceed $851 billion for 2012 and increase to over $933 billion by 2014. Renowned finance expert Farnoosh Toribi joins us to dispel credit card myths and share mistakes and successes to redeem points. Are consumers being more responsible with credit card use?
We're seeing that consumers are getting more responsible with credit. They're paying off their bills, they're managing their debt more responsibly, at least since the beginning of the recession. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the job market has strengthened and people are making money, so they're able to address their debt head on.
How can consumers choose the best card for their lifestyle needs?
First, you want to ask yourself, why do I need this card? Am I going to use this card for day-to-day expenses? Am I going to hold off on using this card only for big ticket items, for travel? And then think about, what are you currently spending your money on, and how will a card benefit your lifestyle, benefit your goals? If you're a consumer who is able to pay off that balance every month in full, on time, then I would recommend looking at a rewards credit card and not worrying so much about about interest rate because you are, as I said, paying off that balance. You're not going to be burdened by that. So look for a card that offers rewards that incentivize you in ways that you're already spending and can reward you, offering you points or cash back. And if they're offering you points, the points will help you get closer to the goals that you want.
What consumers must realize is that the reward points are like money earned.
I like to delay gratification with my rewards cards. I'm pretty close to getting a new laptop. I know it sounds a little nuts, but it's just to show you that I think if you can plan ahead and kind of look at what the different opportunities are with that card and working towards goals, I think that's the best way to redeem your points as opposed to redeeming points little by little. Maybe you'd like to save up for a big ticket item, whether it's a family vacation or hotel stay, or in some cases, a big spending spree at the mall.
Give us some common myths about credit card rewards programs.
Some of the common myths I find about credit card rewards programs is that the rewards do not outweigh the fees and the costs tied to the card. And in some ways, it depends on how you look at it. I think that if you're a consumer who's paying off that balance every month and doesn't have to worry about interest rates, then you're in good shape. A lot of times those rewards will go a long way and you'll get a lot of bang for your buck out of that card. You want to look for a card that has a $0 introductory fee, and so that you're not maybe paying more in fees than you are in rewards that you're receiving, so that you come out on top. So you want to be careful about how, of course, you choose your cards. Choose your cards wisely, but I think there is still a myth out there that necessarily these kinds of cards aren't what they claim to be. But at the end of the day, if you're a responsible consumer, you're probably in good shape to be benefiting from these cards. So for more information, you can check out my website. It's farnoosh.tv.
Happy holidays from the Rosalie Archer Show and Archer Disability Foundation. The holiday season is an important time to practice recycling, to take our actions into the new year, to create a sustainable lifestyle. Consumers are the essential part of the recycling loop, both the beginning and the end. By recycling plastic materials, it leads to a second life as a useful new product. Here to help change your everyday recycling attitudes and behaviors is Jennifer Killingers, a sustainability manager at the American Chemistry Council. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We have so many holiday shopping bags that we can contribute to recycling.
So now that we've got all this great material that's being collected and recycled, there are a lot of really fun and innovative consumer products that are made from recycled plastic. Everything from these great yoga pants for workout from a company called American Flora to some great Patagonia workout jackets that are great for indoors and outdoors. And one of the most exciting things that we've seen, Reprieve is making material for Ford. And so Ford is now making things like these really plush car seats that make driving much more comfortable than it used to be. And they're using recycled plastics, which are good for the environment.
Tell us about the recycling process and how we can help the environment.
Well, they get collected by companies that process them. They're usually called reclaimers. They wash them, they grind them, they melt them down into the basic raw materials of plastics that are used to manufacture all these great consumer products.
What are some easy ways for people to promote recycling in their local community?
There is a website, irecycle.org, or you can just search for Keep America Beautiful. They have all sorts of wonderful tips for consumers and for folks who are active in their communities to help raise awareness about recycling opportunities very locally.
What throwaways are turned into new products?
One of the most exciting growing areas of plastics recycling are bottle caps and yogurt cups. The best way to recycle your caps is to screw them back onto the bottle, and those things can be used to make things like really great kitchen tools and kitchenware. I'm holding here a colander that's made from recycled bottle caps and yogurt cups. Also things like measuring cups and even these great mixing bowls are made from those same things. So products that we once used and can be reprocessed into something that can be durable and reused over and over again. So that's great news. You know, another popular gift, especially around the holidays, I'm picturing this by the fireplace, but we've got a really nice pet bed that's made from recycled plastic. So you can do something nice for your furry friends and also do something that's really good for the planet.
Share some of the survey findings you found.
Our survey showed that about 6 in 10 of us are recycling more than we did 5 years ago, and that same 6 in 10 set of Americans expects to be recycling more 5 years from now. I think what they're looking for are ways to make it easier and to have a common set of rules and understanding about what can be recycled. And again, the best way for us to get there is to do a quick search online.
Where should we go online?
PlasticsMakeItPossible.com. We have lots of great tips and information on how to recycle plastics or buy recycled plastics.
Know your financial limitations to enjoy your holiday experience and don't add to your debt. Take advantage of all your credit card rewards. They're cold cash in the hand to spend on things you really need. Manage your family's nutrition by serving low-fat and high-protein foods to help cut down on the overindulging of sweets that can add to your weight for the new year and your chances of obesity and diabetes. Caring for ourselves will make it easier for us to care for our families and our environment, so we all have a healthier and happier new year. Happy New Year from all of us at Rosalie Productions, the Rosalie Archer Show, and Archer Disability Foundation. Share your New Year's resolutions to get healthy on Rosalie Pro at Facebook or rosaliearchershow.com. See you next year. Will the solutions to this show's issues help you or a loved one? Find shows like this and others on our website at rosaliearchershow.com.